Ellen Ratner is the only one who is that I know who would dare do this. She has actually formed an organization called Goats for the Old Goat. You being the old goat, right?
I did it for my 60th birthday. I figured I woke up one morning, I said, I am an old goat. So our people in Africa, and I go to Africa about every 12 weeks, South Sudan specifically. It's the world's newest country, number 193, a member of the United Nations. And
and one of the world's poorest countries?
Well, it's considered, parts of South Sudan are considered the hungriest place on earth. Parts of it are more remote than parts of the uncontacted tribe of the Amazons, actually.
Whoa.
And there was a civil war there. Were actually two civil wars, but that really was an Arab-Christian war, where over a period of about 40 years, because there were two wars, almost 4.5 million people killed. It's considered the largest genocide since World War II, worse than Rwanda and Cambodia combined.
Combined?
Yes.
Whoa. Is there a stable government there now?
There is a relatively stable government. There's some rumors that President Kiir may be subject to a coup, but basically it's pretty stable. It's fairly Christian and what's called animist, people who worship trees or whatever. And that's basically, and then the north, which is now a separate country, is Arab, and then there is also Darfur. So the north is Arab Muslim, and Darfur is African Muslim, and then there's the South, which is African Christian animist.
Now, you were here last year, and we talked about the GOAT program, which is, so why is that important to these people?
So basically what happens is I work with a group called Christian Solidarity International, and they're not Bible thumpers because I don't think the Bible thumpers work in Africa. But they're a human rights organization, and I'm Jewish, and they believe in bringing back people from the north. Well, now people say, oh, you pay for slaves. Well, no, the issue is that after the war, there were these Arab Dinka peace committees founded, and they said that in exchange for cow vaccine, which prevents tsetse fly, that they would let their people go. So we bring back people every 3 or 4 months, and what we do is we give them what's called a sack of hope, which has a mosquito tent and a water bottle and a blanket, because it can get cold, believe it or not, in the middle of nowhere near the equator, it can get down to 40, 50 degrees sometimes. And we give them also grain so that they can plant, and a hoe. And then we give them now a female she-goat. That's the thing I sort of did for my 60th birthday. And what it allows, when they say, well, how do these people, where do they go? What happens is the chiefs come back. When the people come back, the chiefs, most people, if they're over 10 years old, know what village they're from. Even I have a son who was blinded by his master in the north purposely. He's now in New York learning English, and actually is quite fluent after being here 2 years. He even knew what village he was from, so we were able to find his uncle. His mother was killed. And so the chiefs come back, and then they come back, and they have like 10 goats. And so if they take back 10 people, so now they can begin a herd, they can begin a dairy, and a lot of our people eat every other day. And so this allows them to eat. Also, this lovely heart I'm wearing is made by women on our post-traumatic stress disorder program. And they have seen or heard somebody killed in front of them. And so we have them make hearts in addition to a yogic breathing that we teach them.
Where do they live? Is there land available?
There's a lot of land available.
There's
a lot of land. People live in these huts that they make literally out of mud and straw. And so that's where people live. And there's no running water, no electricity. By the way, we invite people to come on one of our trips. If you have an urge to live with no electricity and no running water.
I was just going to say, you invite people to come, and that you just told them we have no electricity and no running water.
We don't,
right?
And I go every 12 weeks. And actually, you know something, Bill? I've learned to sleep better there than anywhere on earth. I just like it there. Maybe because I'm always
it's so
cold.
Quiet?
Maybe because it's warm, and I'm always cold. So.
And where do you get these goats? So
we buy them at market, and now actually some of our heart women raise the goats. And so we buy them at market, and then they raise them, and we only give out she-goats because those are the ones we give milk, and we vaccinate them on our website, goatsfortheoldgoat.com. That's goatsfortheoldgoat.com. It says exactly how we use the money, and without naming names, I will tell you we're the only animal group that gives people a photo of their animal. You just told me you didn't get your photos. I'm going to double check because I remember taking your photo. Yeah. I take the photos myself.
Okay.
And the reason I do that...
I bought a goat last year, and I was glad. I was happy to do so. I'm going to buy another goat this year. I think it's great.
I also want to give you this. This is a photograph that was taken by a fellow talk show host's son, who is our fellow talk show host, a right-winger, but the son is not.
Let me hold this up, Cyprian, so I'll hold up so you can...
Right.
It's a striking photo. Tell us about it.
Okay, so the woman in the pink is now receiving her niece, who has been held in slavery, and you can tell by the way she's dressed. There's quite a difference. And she's she knew, because we know what villages people come from. So the relatives come and meet their relatives from their villages. And this is the first time she has seen her niece who has been held in slavery. Wow. And that photograph was taken by Washington's James Cullum. He's got some amazing photos. And we have those available too.
So I want to come back to the goats because I want our listeners and our viewers to understand how they can help. So they can make a donation.
You can give a partial goat. You can give a full goat.
Yeah.
Yes. And what we do with photos for partial goat, a full goat is $60. You get your own sign that says this goat is for so and so, and it could be for a gift. It can be for you. It can be for anything. And I take we manufacture the signs here in Washington. I take them to South Sudan with me. I take the photos. I mean, I don't want to. Yeah. Cast aspersions on the people from Africa, but I don't necessarily trust. They're hungry and people need money. Yeah. I don't trust that they're not going to give somebody $2 and say, "Here, take a photo," and then keep the goat. So I give away the goats, and along with other Americans that come with me, and we take the photos.